I'm Toronto Star reporter David Bruser. Colleague Jayme Poisson and I learned that most of the guns seized in Ontario crimes were originally sold in the United States. And half of those U.S. source guns were traced to 6 states in particular: Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, and Michigan. Now, all those 6 states have one thing in common. They're intersected by Interstate 75, which runs north to the Detroit-Windsor border and Highway 401. This, we found, is a pipeline for cheap American handguns that are flooding Toronto's streets.
Earlier this week, the Star bought a gun from a guy named Bob in a parking lot outside Atlanta, Georgia.
You have any Canadian accent? I haven't heard A yet.
Just a little bit, hey?
Yeah, there we go. I used to go up to Rice Lake, Toronto.
We reached out to Bob on the internet on a website called armslist.com.
There it is. I mean, it's not huge.
Okay.
You know,
It's not loaded. Can you just...
Definitely
Sorry,
not
it's
loaded.
not. Okay.
Bob sold us the weapon, a semi-automatic pistol, for $270. He did so with no background checks. He didn't ask for any ID.
then there's your clip, of course.
Okay.
A 25 is a perfect round to start with.
Okay.
No recoil.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't, you know, I mean, the sound is by far worse.
Yeah.
Down the road,
Yeah.
if you get familiar with them,
Yeah.
then I would go up to like a 380.
Okay.
Now, for a woman, stay with an automatic.
Okay.
In Jonesboro, Georgia, a few blocks from Interstate 75, sits Arrowhead Pawn Shop. The Star found 2 guns sold at this store have made their way to Ontario. One was used in a 2010 shooting of a person in Scarborough. We went to Arrowhead and asked an employee if he could tell us more about the original sale of these guns. The guns sold at Arrowhead that ended up in Ontario could have been stolen from their original legal owners, or the initial buyers may have straw purchased them, which is when someone buys for another person. U.S. law enforcement says straw purchasing is a major source of gun trafficking. He didn't want to talk about it.
I'd rather just no comments. I mean, we follow the law to the letter of the law, above and beyond the letter of the law.
Do you have any interest in any information about the particular weapons that might give an interest? The original legal buyer? Okay.
I mean, it's once we do our due diligence, you know, how can I tell you the motives of someone else? If you walk up to my counter and say, I want to buy this iPod,
Yeah.
I'm going to sell it to you. What's your motive? I don't know your motive. As long as I follow the law when I sell it to you, there's no way for me to know what's in someone's mind. Your article is going to be about the flow of guns from South Georgia, from Southern America into Canada. Is that going to make us look good? No. It's going to be making us look bad.
On Thursday, the U.S. Senate voted to open up gun control debate. That would include a provision that would expand background checks to things like internet sales, which is what we did in the parking lot with Bob. Just because the Senate has agreed to debate gun legislation doesn't mean any new laws will be passed in the United States. For thestar.com, I'm Jayme Poisson.